Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Superhuman Entrepreneur. I have my brother from another mother on the show with me today, Stefan Apostolov. Stefan, welcome, my man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, it's just good to have you. It's good. I should say it's good to catch you because you're like all over the world. You're doing, you're shooting film. You're producing a movie right now that's going to be huge. You have your own company. Go Healthy with Stefan, right? Yeah. And then on top of that, you're acting, you're snowboarding, you're visiting family all over the world. Everybody wishes they had your life, so on and so forth.
It's not as pretty as it sounds, but thank you.
But I just want to let everybody know out there, those people who don't know you. I mean, I feel, and I think that other people feel as well, that you're going to be a household name very soon. I mean, if anybody out there wants to watch some of the content that Stefan is putting out, you will be blown away. If you just go to the Wake Up campaign, how do they get to that video, Stefan, if they want to watch that?
If they Google Life in 4 Seasons, just write that, you can see the first probably link is going to be from Indiegogo. So that's our Wake Up campaign for our film that we raised $40,000 2 years ago to shoot Life in 4 Seasons.
Wow. And I went and watched this thing and I was just blown away, brother. I think I texted you or something. I don't know, I emailed you or something. And I was like, this is insane. You know, the videography and the montage, the way you put things together, the beauty of it. There was a shot where a child is like going through this cave and you're filming him, and the way that you describe it and you're talking about it is just beautiful. Like the language that you use is beautiful.
Thank you.
And yeah, man, absolutely.
I crashed my drone like once, actually twice in that cave.
You did?
The opening is so small, so you have to, go with the drone, through the crack of the cave.
Yeah.
It was tough. I've crashed my drone a few times, but that's how it is. I always just go for it and take that risk, and you fix it up.
I was gonna say, what was that deep in the mountains somewhere? Was it like on the outskirts of a town? Where was that?
Yeah, that's in Bulgaria, my country. So you have to hike literally 1.5 hours, and then you go and you see this crack, and like on the, in the mountain, like a cave, and then you have to go up like very, very steep stairs, and you go inside, and it's like this sanctuary, kind of very special spiritual place that at that very specific time of the day you can see the sun coming in, and like some crazy lighting is going on there, and it's beautiful view. So I just it's a famous place in Bulgaria, so I went to shoot there for that Indiegogo campaign video I told you about.
Wow. And tell me a little bit about the purpose and the mission of this project. Well,
the whole idea started to make a film about Bulgaria. I'm from Bulgaria originally. I made a film about my hometown in 2014. I just bought a drone. I've always wanted to have a drone. So at that time, I worked as a server, bartender / model, everything, back in New York City. And I wanted to save. I saved like $3,000 in, next 6-7 months. I bought a drone. And I was like, wow, let's go shoot my hometown with my dad. So I went back to Bulgaria in 2013 at the end in December. And, it was kind of ugly season, one of these winters when there's no snow and it's kind of dirty everywhere. But my hometown is the oldest living town in Europe, like 6,000 years ago.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. We have like ancient amphitheaters and all kinds of, ancient stuff. So we started shooting. And that time was still kind of the drone business was still taking off, but not everybody had drone. Like now everybody has a drone. So I was like kind of looking special and cool with my drone. And after we shot, the idea was just to practice and just to shoot. My first time shooting with a drone. And I was like, wow, I saw the footage after we shot with my dad. I was like, wow, I want to do something with that footage. It's really amazing. So it was the first time I played around with the footage. Then I was moved to Los Angeles 2014. And I started learning about how to edit, how to tell a story with visuals, And this is just visuals of town, of architecture, not killing people, just like amazing scenery, nature. And slowly, with my friend Michael, who is an amazing Bulgarian composer, like genius, we both, like his music helped me to put my shots in my head and at the same time write a voiced over, like a narration. And that's how I created that first film very, again, production, probably $300 production that became viral in my hometown, and that kind of gave me the initial push. And it was the first time I, got approached by strangers and saying, "Oh my God, thank you so much for creating this." I was like, "Wow, I like to get this. Thank you. Just feels so good. You feel like appreciated to
Yeah.
help somebody." So it was the first time when I was like, I really want to create more stuff like that. So that's when the idea to create a film about Bulgaria came. Now then, the whole idea kind of grew more and more because, there's a big rising problem, according to me and my team, about the enormous amount of time people are spending on screen, especially kids.
Yeah.
Again, this is not a campaign against, social media or video games or films, but it's about the balance. It's about against the enormous amount of time. People are sometimes they're spending like 24 hours in front of the screen, and the consequences are really devastating, or they're going to be devastating in the future for the population. So that's how also, the idea started to create a film about this young boy who is the only one from his family who chooses to go out and play around, with nature and his soccer ball. And then, obviously then he goes to 26 different imaginary scenes from the past and present of Bulgarian history. So that, that's how the whole idea started, to with that problem and that cause. It's always important to have a cause in your film. And then slowly we start, working and building more and building on that idea, developing the script. I mean, once you start shooting last year, the whole script totally changed throughout the course of the film.
Yeah.
It's kind of going backwards. We're now writing the script, the actual dialogue, in the between the kids and his dead grandfather. After it's already been shot. So we're totally breaking all kinds of rules in the filmmaking. That's how we've always been doing. We always break the rules, but of course in a good way. And something that has never been done before. It's a new genre. It's a new completely new genre of film. The goal is to be voiced over in 8 different languages at least.
Wow.
The main one: English, Spanish, and Mandarin, Japanese, Korean, Bulgarian, Italian, German, maybe Russian. And blast all those 8 versions in social media on the same day, same time, sometimes next year, and the goal is to 1 billion people or 1 billion, and just to get inspired. It's a very inspirational story.
It is, man. I love all the meaning behind it. I mean, obviously you have a plethora of things coming in to this movie that are going to inspire people and help people to understand their passion and their calling as well, right? But how cool is it? I think what you mentioned about, kids being on their phones, like, and not, just all of us, right? We can all get immersed in technology, and it's like, it's so important. When I first got on the phone with you, one of the coolest things about you is that you're so present in the moment, and you can feel that when you're with you. Like, I just felt like you're just right there. You're not thinking about anything else. You're in the moment. And I see that in your filmmaking as well. Like, it's very it captures you. It helps you to just kind of stand still for a second and say, wow, like, this is the world we live in. Like, this is a beautiful place. Like, we need to stop for a minute and just appreciate what's around us, the people that are around us, the nature that's around us. And I think sometimes we get, especially in this day and age with health specifically, we get so caught up in like the next latest and greatest pill or exercise and all this. When in actuality, health starts from just appreciating what's around you, the beauty around you, right? In the moment.
I mean, spiritual health, being positive, spending time with your family, all this, absolutely, is a big factor of your internal, body health. So it all starts, with the brain, and so definitely, I think it's a part of a healthy living is being open to the environment, and and perceiving what's going on around you, with your family.
So I was just gonna say, I'd love to talk with you about, you moved over to the U.S. in 2014. You had 2008. Okay, 2008.
Theater and dance, and then 2014 I moved to Los Angeles, New York.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. And so you've obviously had your share of hardships and things that have held you back, but you kept on moving forward. What are some things that you think about that help you pursue your dreams? Because I mean, you're stepping out and you're literally, producing a film that doesn't necessarily produce income right away, right? I mean, some of the things that we have to do as entrepreneurs doesn't produce income. It's like you just do your passion, live your passion, hope somebody likes it, and then eventually, you hope it takes off. What are some things that you think about specifically in that realm when you were like working in the restaurant? You said you saved up to buy a drone.
Yeah.
Like, what are the things that you're thinking about? You're like, I'm going to pursue my dreams no matter what. Like, if I have to work in a restaurant and save up my money, whatever it is, what drove you during those times of challenge, hardship?
Well, I think being a foreigner here in this country, and I think many of other foreigners are going to agree with me, I feel like our stakes are a little bit higher in that, we came here with a mission to achieve our dreams, and not necessarily following the American dream, but mostly, to really do whatever you want to, do, because, in Bulgaria, my country, it's a beautiful country, people are all, are cool, but there are not many opportunities there, so I feel like here, for me, it was kind of, there was no option to not kind of make it, or to not keep moving, because the moment you stop moving, life is going to just, hit you, and you're going to just fall, and you're going to be destroyed, because even you're struggling, sometimes I've been on positions where my goal is to really survive, my visa, especially between transitioning from one visa to another, where you can't really work, you can't leave the country, because if you leave, you can legally stay while, you transition to the visa, but you can't leave the country, because if you leave, I don't know if I'm going to come back, and you can't work, so it's like, wow, I'm just stuck with a bowl of rice and some chicken, weeks, and it's always kind of the thought about my, let's say, country, my family, that everybody's there, and they're, they're cool, and they're, just that thought about my homeland kind of always gives me that inspiration to keep going. And of course,
that's cool.
Everything I do, it is tough. Whatever I decide this path, I had, different option to go into a different world of hospitality, and maybe, make good money there. Probably I had an opportunity in 2009 to join a big company, but my passion, and I just decided to follow my passion, and as hard as it is, just to keep moving, keep moving, and just stay focused. Being focused and is one of the probably most important thing. I personally think. So yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And how do you stay productive, Stefan, during your day? I mean, so we were just talking about, you were working from home, and now you have an office in Hollywood, and you have, a staff, and like things are growing for you, and getting, and continuing, you're continuing to gain momentum. How do you stay productive during your day? Like, walk me through when you wake up in the morning, like, is there a certain routine that you have to stick to in order to stay productive, or are you just like random, like off the cuff, whatever goes? Okay.
I can't have my own routine. Well, I wake up, I make my bed. That's the first thing I do.
Me too.
Like, they really matter. And, so yeah, I always make my bed. I just, make my awesome 4-egg breakfast every single day for the past 5 years. So eggs are good for you guys. I've been eating 4 or 5 eggs every single day, and my cholesterol levels are absolutely fine.
Absolutely.
And then, I eat, I, do some work here at home before I go to work, and I then go to my office. Some of my people are already there. They work. So I work now in the office until 4 or 5 p.m. Then I come back home. I might have like a late lunch or kind of / dinner. I might go to the gym quickly and come back, and I continue working on my film, because now I'm juggling between the Go Healthy and the film. So the only time I can work on the film is literally from 6 to like 2 a.m. And that's when is for my film, the visual effects right now being done in Bulgaria, the sound design, the original music by the top guys in Bulgaria. So their time, Bulgarian time, is during the days when it's my time, 10 p.m.
Wow.
So I have to keep in touch with them. So I have to stay up until very late. So my life for the past 2-3 years, has been like literally working 19 hours a day. I know it's a lot, and to be honest, I mean, again, it's something that I do with my whole heart, so nobody's making me do it, and I, I'm very, I just love it, I get like trying to get 6 hours of sleep at least, because less than 6, I look like a ghost, and, sometimes I have to cover too. So, and, I would say that, I'm right now single, and being single kind of allows you that freedom.
Wait, stop the tape, ladies. You heard it. He's single. All right. Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, so I mean, I feel like I had this conversation with my friend soon, and like, I was like, if I had, and I'm a very family guy. I love kids, and of course I want to have kids, one day. But if I have kids right now and a family, I don't think I can be able to work 19 hours because I'm going to be very selfish if I do. And you want to spend time with your kids, you want to raise them. So that's why I always say follow your dreams in your 30s, and and work your body off, because that's the time to kind of see what direction you want to go. And as I said, one of my biggest challenge was juggling between filmmaking and Go Healthy, two completely different industries. But at the same time, I knew they can help each other so much.
Yeah.
And I couldn't have raised $40,000 in Indiegogo for my film if I didn't know how to do Facebook ads. I learned from perpetual traffic, with digital marketers and Keith and Ralph from Domain Web Media. So I spent $6,000 in ads, and we raised $40,000. It was the first time when I was like, wow, the power of paid advertising. And at the same time, I couldn't have built Go Healthy with that video that you showed, with the 15 million views, if I didn't know how to tell a story as a filmmaker.
Yeah. Yeah.
So both were very connected and help each other so much. But at the same time, the learning process until I get to here was so overwhelming, between juggling from Go Healthy to the film, left side, right side of the brain, left side, right side, all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of, I'm sometimes feel like, wow, what am I doing? Like, why do I do this? Like it's almost like impossible, like to do two things, two professions at the same time.
Yeah.
And at the same time, working part-time other jobs to make a living. So,
yeah. Wow. And so you're running, Get Healthy with Stefan, your company. You're producing this movie on the side, juggling those two things at the same time. Would you say, as passionate about both? I mean, like, I know you're really passionate about making this movie, but like Get Healthy with Stefan, you're also making waves in the health arena with that. You're producing really cool videos. That's where I first saw you. You were doing a video, like you were doing push-ups, and you were talking about the state of healthcare. And that's really what resonated with me, with you, is because we were raised very similarly. Like, you were raised without toxins. You were raised in a family of doctors who taught you, look to the cause. Don't treat things with medications and surgeries, but try to actually look internally in your body, to look at the power that made your body and actually respect it and admonish it and use it to heal. So I think it's really cool, the background that you came from. Are you equally as passionate about Get Healthy with Stefan?
Absolutely. The final goal, of course, of both, different, industries and passions of mine, whether I make a film or whether, we have a video for Go Healthy, it's really to inspire and to change people's life. Yeah. And I've always wondered, like, what is that little thing that can kind of flip in somebody's brain to change the way they think about, life or specific things about wellness. And like, let's say, for instance, there was one film that changed my whole, perception about life, that gave me the idea of me being an actor and a, filmmaker and move to, Hollywood. One film, one moment, in 1998, I was like 7 years old. So I was like, wow, if somebody can change my life with one film and one moment in that film, sitting in my little apartment in a communist country of Bulgaria, and then moved to Hollywood, and then, and now I have this as granted, but I'm just thinking about, wow, I actually came here, and I'm actually, working in the industry, whatever, and I'm following my dreams. So I'm like, how can I really do that to somebody else? And everybody can do it. I mean, you don't have to be a filmmaker or a wellness guy or whatever. You can really do it with some simple little things in life. And I feel like more people who try to inspire and to kind of educate and entertain at the same time while you're inspiring. Then I feel like this place can really become a better place, and you can overcome many different world problems we're facing right now. So definitely, I have passions for both. Definitely, I think I can bring something to the table and to the world with both. Now, especially working on a new product, new video-based platform for Go Health, is something that I think might be big and huge in the future. So that's what the past 2-3 months on that, for Go Healthy, and it's exciting, just knowing that things are, coming
Yeah,
together,
man.
and just seeing that. Although I'm a very impatient person in general, but I want to put my time into, do things properly. It's really exciting to see things.
That's really cool. That's really cool. I love hearing all that, man. I love seeing your zest for life and your passion coming through the screen at me. It's awesome. You mentioned the video, the movie that you watched that inspired you. What movie was that?
Meet Joe Black.
Meet Joe Black. That is a great movie.
Yeah. The chemistry between the three, the Anthony Hopkins and Brad Pitt and the lady, I forgot her name, but it was so, everything was in their eyes and in their dialogue. There was nothing really, just that it was so much magic between them, and I was like, wow, it was very inspirational just to watch the whole thing going on, and
Did it make you reflect? I mean, so what did it trigger inside of you? Like, did it make you think about death and how short life is? Like, what was the thing that brought you to that? Yeah.
Appreciating life, and the fact Anthony Hopkins going to to live his life, and he knew that he had only a few days left. But also something that you said before, being present is very important, I think, in life.
Yeah.
And I love to see how present they were, with each other in front of the camera. And I was just, captivated by the fact how he can be so present, in front of the camera. So that kind of what drew me to acting, and what kind of like, wow, I want to, experience that. So, definitely being present and living life, it was, something that I was like, okay, it shoot high. And, I would really always recommend people to kind of shoot high. I never told anybody I want to go to Hollywood or, become an actor, other than my best friend and my family, because, people, they see like, oh, what do you think, you're going to go to Hollywood and become a superstar? That was never, the goal, but it's always really, once you shoot high, it's, I don't know, it kind of gives you something to keep chasing, with.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're going to go get there, win the Oscar or this or that, but as long as you have that goal and that dream in your head, almost like you manifesting, your dream, that kind of really helps you to move forward and just to continue, stay focused every day and not give up, and you get by life and just get up and do it, continue doing it. So that's why I always, don't be afraid to, just shoot high and be open to it. I'm an architect and I want to build a new bridge from Manhattan to Jersey, and, just do it. Yeah, absolutely. Going to help the two states, get more, I don't know, better traffic and stuff like that. Just, high. So.
Yeah. Well, a mentor of mine always told me, show me your 3 friends and I'll show you where you'll be in 3 years. And that piece of advice has given me so much clarity in my own life. When I think about my most successful times in my life, I've had a certain type of friend that has been around me to uplift me and to encourage me. And would you say that that's important in your own life?
Oh, absolutely. I think we all kind of need that, validation after all. We can't just do things and, without, having the encouragement of our, family and friends. And I can definitely say I'm blessed, very, very blessed to have an amazing family and parents and sister. And of course, friends from Bulgaria. I have many, many great friends. And they have always supported me, everything I do, since the beginning I moved here. They always been following my, progress in any ways. My film, the Life in 4 Seasons. I mean, my dad flew from across the country to help me for 5 months, absolutely free, of course. He was the only person getting up at 5 a.m. with me to move props and costumes. My grandma was cooking sandwiches for the whole team. Like, I'm talking about scenes with 200-300 people, like extra.
Wow.
Like that. She was, she's like 8 years old, and her and her sister was, my mom was helping with whatever she can. My sister she's the executive producer. She was, of course, helping in any way from here, from the States. Two of my best friends from my high school, they came on set, being like PA, production assistant for anything. So, that was the time when you see like, oh, your friends jumping on your projects. They believe in you. And it's really amazing when you see, like, because this whole project was, and it's still, it's an inspiring, project to see like people uniting towards a cause. People that they don't expect to return. They don't expect to make money. They just heard that somebody there is making a film about Bulgaria that's going to change the way people see Bulgaria, because we have a kind of bad reputation in Europe, and they were so inspired by that. People were traveling from around the country, from different parts to come to be in the film or help with whatever they can. A person like an old man who lives in a village with 5 houses, who makes probably like $55, pension a month. He came with a bus down, and I'm like, here's $10 for your bus. He's like, no, don't worry, take your money back. I came here because I want to participate in the film. So seeing people like supporting your mission, that's so inspiring. And that's there's no option for me to say no, I can't do it because I have huge responsibility. You have to do it.
Right.
You do your best. Whatever happens. But you have to really keep going. So I can definitely say I'm very, very blessed to be surrounded first, by an amazing family that have always supported me, never questioned, my endeavors, and of course, great friends. So it's really important, and I it's kind of hard for me to see what if, because I know people who don't have that support, emotional and spiritual, from their friends, and I'm not even saying financial, just mostly emotional and spiritual, and it must be hard if you don't have that.
Yeah.
You're just on your own completely, and to keep moving, but people do it too. So
yeah, wow. And that would be, there's nothing more humbling, in my opinion, than having a person give up like a comfort of theirs, or give up time in their own life, because we all are immersed in our own stuff in our own lives, and so that's really neat to hear all these people flying in because they believe in you, and they also see the mission, the purpose, right? Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Just amazing.
Yeah, and and the country is right now in a very bad place with policy, and everybody's so kind of, people are like kind of eradicated from the inside. They're all there are no smiles. You walk on the street, you don't see any smiles. Everybody's very, very in a bad place in their mentality. So I feel like I hope this film is gonna kind of inspire them and be like a new chapter, just for the country itself, of course. I mean, again, it's a very universal, international film that everybody can understand, but specifically for Bulgaria, I hope is gonna, change and inspire, people, and change the way they live.
Yeah, absolutely. I have no doubt that it will, Stefan. I mean, I'm moved by it. I know that friends of mine have watched it. They're moved by it. You're extremely talented. So let's talk about, you are a hard-hitting entrepreneur. You're into all these things. Obviously, you take care of yourself. You have a health company that you're running. So, and then you also have a whole paradigm behind how you believe like healthcare should be, and what's happened within our healthcare system to send us off into this crazy rabbit trail where we feel like, we need to be in hospitals to stay well. And obviously you don't believe that way, and you voice it. You're not afraid to voice it. You create videos on it. So two questions here. One, tell me what your paradigm is when it comes to health, like how you believe someone can be their healthiest person yet. And then number two, I want to talk about performance. I want to talk about how you actually stay energized and productive. Like, obviously you're saying you're working 19 hours a day. You've been doing this for 3 years. Obviously your nutrition's on point. Your exercise is on point. Like, you have maybe some secrets in your back pocket that you use. So let's start with the paradigm. How do you believe, health should be conducted by a person to really be their healthiest self yet?
Well, as I said before, both mental and physical health are really important to be a healthy human being. And probably the first thing, and you can probably know what that is from my video, is really eliminating all kinds of processed foods out of your diet. I know it's hard to do it, and to be honest, even before I didn't really notice it so much that sometimes even I was buying a bag of chips once in a while, whatever. And it's again, there's always healthy versions of that, but like, first eliminate all processed foods, all foods in high in added sugar. That's the number one thing I really think. If I have to say one major thing for the American obesity epidemic for the last 50 or 80 years. So definitely starting to eat whole fruits and vegetables, and cooking more dishes, homemade dishes with those whole fruits and vegetables. Buy extra virgin olive oil, and I know it's more expensive versus the cheap vegetable oils, but I'm sure you can manage. Everybody can manage their financial monthly income, and to kind of like my grandma was in Bulgaria and she was still buying this cheap vegetable oil, and I bought like 4 extra virgin olive oils, and like, grandma, drink, eat that.
Yeah.
Like, she saves money to give me money, like just because she wants always to kind of help me. Like, I don't need that. Just buy yourself 4 bottles of extra virgin olive oil and stop buying this cheap vegetable oil. So, definitely, switching to like natural and whole and organic foods and start cooking more is definitely, important for people to be healthy. But I've always been we've been talking with my dad. He's one of my biggest inspirations, especially for Go Healthy. And most of the knowledge I know is from him. And we talked about that. We notice people nowadays, they really focus in general on food and eating a lot, because food is, eating is amazing, getting with friends and family together and eating, and it's one of the pleasures in life.
Yeah.
But there's so many other pleasures in life, right? There's so many other things we can do that are involving more activity and less eating. And if you shift your mind from those pleasures in life, let's go hiking with your friends or your family, or go horseback riding. You can do so many things that don't really require money, just really being active. Then I feel like once you shift your mind to those pleasures in life and less on actually eating, then you're going to start, losing pounds because you're going to be eating less and you're going to be more active,
I'm going to do this to that. I'm just going to do this to that, man. You're right on.
Exactly. And then, and then you're going to, and especially if you start also, cooking more in those times when, obviously you eat home, just cook more versus buying easy to make, instant foods, then slowly going to see change, And again, it doesn't happen overnight. You can't go for a run today and tomorrow and expect to lose 5 pounds. You have to just be like, okay, I'm going to manifest. I'm going to start doing it. And in the next, 2-3 months, I'm going to just switch my, whole, lifestyle. And I always recommend to do it kind of, incorporate a new habit, a new change into your lifestyle until it becomes habit, and incorporate it, next one, step by step, take your time. Don't get overwhelmed by incorporating 5 changes and you're like, oh my God, what should I do? Take your time until you turn that change into a habit and move to the next one. And again, it doesn't require money. People always think, being healthy, you need to, be rich or eating healthy, whatever. No.
Yeah.
Up to, a few months ago, I couldn't afford buying organic food, So again, you don't have to eat organic all the time to be healthy. There's definitely other things you can do.
Yeah.
But that's my kind of mantra for being a healthy person. And again, once you, as I said, being healthy, fit, mentally is also important. So for that, I can just recommend is, I know sometimes it's hard, but you have to kind of eliminate the toxic people out of your life. I can say that way. There are people that I used to keep in touch with, but they were always kind of bringing me down. They were always negative, not towards me, but just in general. Our conversation were always kind of negative.
Right.
And that's this kind of thing of complaining about life all the time and negativity. Yeah. And I'm trying to help, but at some point you can't really do something, anything. And so I feel like being surrounded by positivity and positive people, that's going to help you to be positive yourself, and that's also going to help you to be inspired. If you ask me, how do you work 19 hours? Well, I'm trying to stay positive all the time. My team is inspiring me. My family is inspiring me. I try to find inspiration in all these little things in life every single day. And once you get those inspirations, then you're just passionate about life, and just keep living, because you see things actually happening. And you see, wow, what I've been working in the past 2 years is actually bringing me a product, result. And sometimes it took me 3.5 years to actually have my first sales for Go Healthy. That happening, then you're like, oh my God, it's actually really happening. It's not some imaginary things of being successful, whatever. Being positive and being surrounded by people that you want to work with and keep in touch with, is important. And sometimes I know it's hard to say no to some people, but you gotta do it. Otherwise you're gonna just bring it on and gonna suck you in, and it's not good.
You're right, man. And it's, I think, and it sounds like you're like this too. You want the best for people. Like you want people to, you want people around you to succeed. You want people around you to be happy and joyful. But there is a point where saying no has to happen. I mean, there was a point where in my business where there were so many emails coming in asking me to do different things, and I wanted to say yes to all of them. And it was so hard for me to just type no and send it, in obviously a polite way, but just in a way that just told them, hey, look, I can't do it right now. But when I finally was able to do that, it just, the freedom that comes with that is so rewarding. And just letting that person know that, you love them, you care about them, you want the best for them, but right now, like, you would need to sacrifice, you know, what you value, your family, you know, your free time, you know, for that opportunity. And ultimately it's going to be worse in the long run, because it's going to burn you out and you're not going to be able to be your best person. Right.
Absolutely. Definitely.
Yeah. That's cool. That's good stuff, man. So talking a little bit more about, you know, performance in the realm of nutrition, like there's always, I've noticed with top performers that I've been around, that they have like that one thing that they have to do. Like maybe it's a food. And let's just talk in the arena of nutrition. Like, is there a shake that you really like that you make every day? Is there like a meal that you said you eat eggs, so 10-4, I eat eggs too. But is there something that you make? Is there like a superfood that you incorporate into your life every week that you're like, I can't do without it? Are there any supplements that you're like, yeah, I need these in my life consistently, because this is how my body really gets the most out of my time?
Yeah. I personally love my breakfast. I think, you know, starting the day off with a nutritious big breakfast is important. Some people might argue, you know, now there's, you know, the new intermittent fasting, which is not really a new thing, but technically, you know, skipping breakfast and now saying, you know, breakfast is not the most important meal anymore. Again, everybody's so different. So I feel like everybody has to try their own, you know, based on their body, different things and see what works for them. For me, it works starting my day off with a very nutritious, high protein, high in good fats, you know, breakfast with like 4 eggs, 1 avocado, heirloom tomatoes, you know, some grapes, you know, what else? Some burrata cheese or mozzarella, and, you know, make a different, you know, either an omelet or scrambled eggs. So that kind of gives me cool, you know, initial energy boost, you know. To you know, continue. I do take, you know, a whole protein shake, or, you know, organic vegan, that I've been, you know, using for the past actually 6 years, and I'm very happy with it. What do
you use? Do you use your own? Is there a brand you like?
Actually, it's a brand called Sun Warrior.
Okay, yeah, great brand. Yeah,
you can find them in Whole Foods. You know, and I personally, I mean, they're natural, they're organic, and I'm very happy with the product. It's high quality. So I've been drinking that, and just mostly because I'm still like I'm always like working a lot and working out, trying to work out as well, and if I don't have that protein shake, I'm just losing weight. I'm just going to you know, so that's but also, you know, sometimes, you know, we have this, oh my God, I have to always have you know, high in protein and stuff like that. So I don't believe so much into either high protein or extremely high fat diet. I feel like, you know, balance is kind of the key for me, at least for my body. So sometimes too much protein is not really awesome too. So you have to, you know, take your time and find that balance. But again, I think everybody should find their own, try different things, you know, and see what kind of regime works for them the best.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. As far as the performance tools that you use in your day, like, do you use any apps in your phone? Do you have like something on your computer? Like, I use Flux. You may use that as well. Like, it like dims your computer light so you don't get blue light. Do you wear blue light blocking glasses? Anything like that?
Here you go. Non-prescribed, you know. Yeah, that's what I wear to kind
of. Your smart level just went this high through the roof, man.
Yeah, and I look a little bit more intelligent like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I use, well, I listen to, as I said, to the Perpetual Traffic podcast. I feel like everybody needs to kind of listen to that or something similar, you know, for the paid advertising, because you know, like, again, if you have a product and if you have a video, a hook that you can use for Facebook to drive traffic to your product, or whatever, you know, sales page or a blog post, you know, all you need is to do really Facebook ads, you know. That's the biggest thing. And, you know, and now is the time to really take advantage of the paid advertising. So definitely, I listen to my Perpetual Traffic podcast. It's 30 minutes a week. It's nothing. You can do it while you're in your car, while working out in the gym. So that's one thing I definitely still do to kind of keep myself updated to the, you know, to what's going on and what's up to date right now. I also kind of recently downloaded this app called Blinkist. Blinkist, which is technically
like Blink.
IST, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So technically, these are different, all kinds of books. Like let's say Tony Robbins right here. Actually, I do have it still right here. The Unshakable, right?
Yeah.
So it was like a few months ago. So you
Okay.
can listen to let's say an audio summary of that book in like 16 minutes.
Oh, crazy. Okay.
Not much details, but you can at least get an overview of the book and see what it's about. So they have like I think over 2,000 books there that you can listen the audio summary of the book. So sometimes if you don't have the time to read the whole book, or like you don't have time to read so much, you can just listen to different books in different categories. Personal development, motivation, and wellness, fitness, everything. So that's definitely something that it can make your life a little bit easier. So
very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I know everybody's going to get a lot out of that. I mean, I hadn't heard of that before, so I'm definitely going to look into that.
Yeah.
And especially with books, being as busy as we are, sometimes it's hard to just sit down and read. Yeah. But if you could have cliff notes, makes a ton of difference, right? Yeah. So what is something that you think about that helps you maintain a high level of performance? Like, is there, and it may be different all the time, but is there like something that you come back to when you feel, at times we all go through these times where we're like self-doubt, and fear and anxiety. Is there something that you go back to and think about that helps you push through?
Well, about the high level performance, I've been struggling a lot with perfectionist, like being perfectionist, which I think is not a bad thing, because me being a perfectionist, what helps me to all my final products, like so the video that you're watching, or the Go Healthy, or the film, trying to have a good impact and big results. So paying attention to those little details, I'm really paying attention to all kinds of little details that I think are important for the big result and the big picture of the product. Really important, but also sometimes spending too much time on those little details, is kind of waste of time. So one lesson I learned from Keith, I think it was the first time I heard this from Keith Krantz from Digital Marketer, is the 80-20% rule, which is focusing on the 20% of the things that bring 80% of the result, right? So instead of me trying to, I kind of now go more, instead of me trying to perfect all those little details about a new video I'm going to be releasing, that will not really change so much the outcome and the result of the video itself, but using that time to create maybe a second video that can boost twice the sales, whatever. So that kind of switch to kind of find that balance. Okay, still being, trying to perfect things, but not to the end, to the very edge, where you're just now wasting time and being stuck on the same video for a month instead of creating 2-3 more videos at the same time. It's kind of what helped me to start seeing more results in my life and kind of being more productive, let's say, versus just being stuck into perfecting one or little things and details. Again, I feel like it's not, if you have that balance between perfectionist and also the spending, time on the 20% of the things that matter mostly, that's a good combination. So that's one of the, and also again, as I said, jumping from left side of the brain to the right side. Right side is where all the creativity happens. And for my film, I had to, sometimes I had to, come up with the dialogue, and I had to get in that zone where I have to really try to get my inspiration to write and do things in the creative part. And then the left side is all the mathematics, the Facebook ads, the setup, all those different, the science, and switching from left to right is hard. And I was doing it like literally. I was doing film and Go Healthy at the same time, sometimes replying to emails, and it was extremely overwhelming. So then I decided, like, you know what, I'm gonna just separate the days. I'm gonna do the first 8 hours a day on Go Healthy only, and if I have to just use my right side of the brain, I can just do that. And then once I'm down, and I can take a break, go for a 30-minute run, come back, refresh mind, and then focus on the film. There is more that I have to edit. I have to come up, change the dialogue. See how things work here. Then I use my right side. So that's
wow.
I kind of changed to.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. As far as what you're passionate about, is there something that you're passionate about that our heroes listening out there could benefit from? Like anything that you could share with them that they may be able to take and use to develop their own passions or their own mission in their own life?
I mean, as I've mentioned, I feel like everybody who is probably listening has, is either an entrepreneur or somebody who's trying to, build a business or develop their passions. Always the first thing is you need to discover what your own passion is. Like, what do you really want to do? And ultimately, everything you're doing is going to end up to realize that you have to be able to impact somebody's life with your own passion, right? It can be anything. You can really change somebody's life. And so first you have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to enjoy your own passion. And then once you feel that victory, and when I say victory, I mean the appreciation, that thank you by somebody, thank you for doing this, or thank you for inspiring me, or thank you for changing my life. That is so inspiring and so gratifying that you're going to just continue doing it.
Yeah.
So definitely first try different things. If you're like, young, I've always kind of knew what I wanted to do, like, again, from young age, but I know people who are like in 20s, early 20s, and they still don't really know what direction they want to take on. So just try different things, just try to, what do you want to do, and try different passions. And once you know, what you want to do and what your passion is, just focus on that and keep moving and try to make a plan and strategy how you can develop your passion into let's say sustainable maybe business that you can impact people's life and also make a living from your passion, amazing thing. So
Stefan, do you think that there's a point that's too late for somebody to pursue their passion? Like, let's say somebody had a dream and they let it die, or maybe not die, but just put it off, and maybe essentially they think it's dead. Maybe they're thinking, well, there's no way I can go back to that. I let that go long ago. Do you think there's a point that you just need to move on? Is there a point where it's too late?
Oh, no. I mean, life is so. I mean, nobody should care about their age. I know at some point you're getting like 30s, 40s, 50s, and your hair's still, getting white, whatever. I mean, this is just like, you're gonna owe that at some point, right?
Yeah.
But let me answer your question with a question. Are you gonna be, once you're on your deathbed or dying, and you're thinking, wow, I should have probably tried when I was 40. I thought it was too late already on 50s or whatever. But actually, I'm now 80. I have 30 more years. I should have tried that, and I didn't do it because I thought I'm too old, too late. So it's no, there's no limit. I know people who, at 60 they started something. I mean, the guy who did the Kentucky Fried Chicken, I think he started at the age of 60. Doing the whole chain, and he blew like one of the biggest company in the world. So there is no age limit for to start, as long as you really want to do it. And again, it won't be necessarily easy. It's not going to be easy. Nobody says it's going to be an easy way. Definitely going to be very challenging, but I really believe that we all have the same opportunities. I know some people are born in different countries and some people are born with less, but at the end of the day, is if you really believe in your passion and if you really follow your dreams and you make a plan, it's really important to have a plan and know what you're kind of doing. And there's really no external force that can take you out. Yeah. Now, of course, your path will change for sure. It will not happen in the way you imagine, but you're definitely going to keep moving forward in a different path towards the main final goal, and you're going to see things actually happening. It takes time, takes persistence, takes the small steps matter. You have to realize that, and takes risk. You have to take that. So take that risk. Don't be afraid to take that risk, and just keep doing it.
Yeah, man, that's so true. I think in our culture specifically, and it seems like more in America than anywhere else, and you could tell me if I'm wrong, it just seems like we have this like thing that time is the enemy, and it's almost like we're on a clock, and if we don't like accumulate the most money and we don't like kind of hoard our stuff in a certain amount of years, then, it's going to be too late, whatever. You're not going to climb the corporate ladder. You're not going to get that relationship that you want, whatever it is. Yeah. And I heard a guy the other week at a seminar say, we overestimate what we can do in a year and we underestimate what we can do in 10 years. Yeah. And I thought that was so powerful, because when you don't look at time as an enemy, but you look at time as just a beautiful thing that carries on, and there's seasons. And seasons are beautiful, like I look forward to seasons in my year. I love the fall. I love the winter. I love seeing how the grass and leaves change and how people, what they wear change. And if you look at it like that, it's a gorgeous dance that we get to do, you know, and that's something that there's a tone in your videos, such a beautiful tone of just like when I was watching one of your videos, you know, there's music playing, there's a child, and then there's you speaking, and it's like you're captivating all the senses. And I think when you allow yourself to live life like that, allow your senses to get captivated, allow yourself to just kind of just breathe it in and know that it's a gorgeous process that we're getting to go through. Like we get to do it. We don't have to do it. We get to do it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree. I totally agree with everything you're saying. You know, it's important to enjoy life as well while you're actually doing this. You know, as you said, I mean, I was, you know, the same thing, you know, I was, oh my God, my clock is running, you know, I have to, and then I just stop to everything. Just forget about the clock. Do things, you know, the way you think it should be done, but don't try to always chase that, you know, deadline. You know, it's always good to have deadline, but not in that way that you're constantly working, and you know, feeling the beauty of the life, you know, because you're just gonna get burned and like, okay, what do I do all this for? You know, just to, you know, you have to enjoy and sometimes stop for a while and just perceive the things around you. So yeah,
for sure. So I love to ask this question, and feel free to just like take a minute and ponder it for a second if you need to. But if you were in a room with everyone that you love, and it's your last day on earth, and you're going to be taking your last breath in a couple minutes, and you're asked, you know, what is the thing that you want to leave everybody with in this room? What would you tell them? It could be a piece of advice. It could be, you know, a word. It could be whatever you want it to be. What would you tell the people in that room?
One thing I would say is definitely just, I don't know, one thing we didn't really talk about the whole thing is, you know, be a good person. I know, I feel like everything should be coming from a good place in your heart, and you have to really treat the other people in the way you want to be treated. And we all have these thoughts. It's in our nature as human beings to have thoughts of, you know, competing with others and jealousy and this and that. And this is normal. Always normal. As long as you find a way to get those thoughts and just keep them out of your brain, you know. So and you know, I feel like I really believe in good, and I believe that people whose action are driven by the good, you know, are you know, the one who can, you know, change the world, and the one who, you know, can really have a positive impact. So I definitely think treat others in the way you want to be treated. That you've heard that before, of course, but you know, just try to whatever you do to come from a good place in your heart always. You know, and sometimes we want to yell at your employee or whatever, or you want to do this and that, but that's definitely not the right way to do it, and to the right attitude. So,
and I think those simple phrases, we need to hear those simple phrases more. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes, like, and I say it too, it's, you know, we hear things often, like maybe, you know, it's a phrase or something that we hear, but oftentimes those phrases, like, you know, treat people good, or you know, just go out on a limb for people, or whatever it is, you know, it's like, we need to hear that often, you know, and sometimes we forget those simple phrases because they just kind of like, that's like a given, like treat people good. But in actuality, like, if you think about it, like, but do we, like, I'm constantly having to check my motives, you know, and I think that's so important to just check your motives. Like, I have a friend I get together with, and we always ask each other, how's your heart? Like, before we ask anything else, just how's your heart, right? Because if that's right, then you're good.
Then you're good. Exactly. You need to really start from right there, you know. You can't really change the world, you know, if you're not, you know, in a good spot in your heart here, you know. You just it's I mean, you can, but then it's going to be a scary part about the world, you know, as we have witnessed recently and before in the past, you know, when somebody with not a good heart, you know, gets into a position where, you know, has more influence. So definitely it's really important, I think, you know, to kind of find that good spot in your heart that, you know, okay, I feel good here. I think I can really help people and you know, inspire and whatever that might be. So
that's good, man. That's good stuff. And so some closing questions here. so number one, do you have anything that is on your heart that you would like to share with the audience today? Something that's just been really, kind of just maybe heavy on you, or just something that you want to share that maybe we didn't talk about?
Not really. I think we kind of talked to most things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal. That's always a good conversation. We've gone the gamut.
I just didn't want to start, because if I start right now, I can.
If I start
24 minutes,
an hour later.
So I was like, should I start, or should I just keep?
That's part two. That's part two.
That's part two.
Exactly. That's the next show. So, Stefan, I can tell you, man, it's always a pleasure connecting with you. Your heart, it beats and does things in such a way that is very rare on this earth. And so I want to thank you for being who you are and coming on the show with us and having, a conversation on video and audio, just so everybody knows out there. I mean, sometimes it's not the easiest thing, because it's obviously you have to be natural, but I'll tell you, like, hopefully you already feel it with Stefan. Like, he is who he is, whether a camera's on, whether there's audio, whether you're on the phone with him, whether you're and I would imagine if we're in the woods together with nobody around, it will be the same exact way as this conversation is right now. So I want to thank you, Stefan, for showing up in the world the way you do, man, and sharing your imagination with all of us.
Thank you so much. I'd like to thank you for the invitation and for approaching me. And, you kind of really got my interest, because since the beginning, you're always very friendly and genuine, and that's what I love about people, just being genuine in themselves. And I think you're an amazing person, and what you do is really amazing too. So
thanks for doing
that, and I hope we keep in touch, and we do maybe one more episode in the future. Why not?
Absolutely, man. Before we leave, where can people find out about what you're doing, the projects that you're doing? Where can they go? It can be a couple websites. Feel free to share that.
Yeah. Well, if they want to learn more about the film, they can just type Life in 4 Seasons film or Life in 4 Seasons Indiegogo, so they can see the campaign, they can see the video that we talked about that got the $40,000, got 3 million views. Otherwise, they can just write Go Healthy with Stefan, and they can see, my wellness website, or just my name, Stefan Apostolov. They can see some modeling photos if you want to, or whatever. Whatever you write, Google, you can find out like that.
That's great, man. That's great. I would definitely recommend going on both. Definitely go and look and see Stefan on Get Healthy with Stefan. He's doing things on there, and the nutrition that he talks about, the knowledge bombs that he gives, the articles that he writes. You're going to learn a ton from the wealth of knowledge that him and his team bring to the table. So that's amazing. And then also, please go check out the video, support the mission. I guarantee you guys that it's videos like these. Like, forget Hollywood, forget movie theaters. Like, it's videos like these that need to be in every theater across the world in order to inspire and help people to see that your purpose and your mission is important. And allowing things like this to speak into your heart and drive you to be a better person, to be a more purposeful person is so important. So once again, Stefan Apostolov, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate your help.
Thank you. Thanks to everybody out there. Remember, you are superhuman already. You don't need to go out and seek it. You already are. It's inside of you. You were made in your mother's womb from 2 cells, and you grew up into the person that you are today. And so we are grateful for who you are. Thanks for being on the show with us. To everybody out there, be superhuman. Talk to you later.